Alright, for the first time ever in the vertical printing space, we're going to be directly comparing the two biggest machines on the market. Now, if you've done any previous research into wall printing, you're probably aware there's two countries that sell the most vertical printers by far, and that's the German machine and the Chinese machine. So behind me here we have the wallPen E2 from Germany, and on this side we have the Chinese DXonJet VPJet 4.0. And this is the new updated version that has a geared rail system. That's important, and we'll get to why later. For years, the German technology outpaced the Chinese by a big margin, and it was pretty obvious what the choice was. But over the last few years, the Chinese machines have continued to improve, and so it becomes even more important that we make this video because it's become a matter of opinion on which machine is going to be best for you based on your budget, how mobile you want it to be, and how easily you want it to load into the job site. So for the first time, we'll be doing a direct side-by-side comparison and showing the pros, the cons, and what it's actually like when you're ready to get on the job site and make money with your vertical printing machine. Now, when you're looking to buy any wall printer, it's easy to get lost in tech specs and data sheets. But tech specs don't matter as much as you think they might. For instance, resolution. All printers on the market are going to print at a good resolution, and you're not going to notice the difference unless A, you've been in printing for a while, or B, you're looking at it under a microscope. And so this actually has no effect on the end client's perspective on the mural that you just printed for them. Another example would be white ink. Some manufacturers even tout we're the only ones with white ink capability. All high-end vertical printers now can simultaneously undercoat with white while they print, giving you true color even on dark surfaces. Now, we've been running a vertical printing business in Asheville, North Carolina for the last 3 years, and in that time, we've personally mentored over 60 operators on how to implement their technology and grow a successful business out of it. Through all of that, we've had a very intimate perspective on what's actually important, not when you buy the printer, but 3-6 months down the line when you're bringing it to the job site and fulfilling jobs with it. What becomes very important then is very different from what you would maybe look for in a printer if you're only looking at tech specs. The goal in any business is how do I make the most amount of money in the least amount of time and with the least amount of headaches. So we'll be starting with a blank white wall and setting each of these machines up as if it's a job site. So we'll be covering things that are most important to that and what can contribute most to business success. That's going to be transportation, assembly, on-site preparations, software, print speed, and print quality. Now that you know what you're in for, let's get started. All right, before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's do a basic machine overview starting with the wallPen. So this is the wallPen E2, manufactured in Germany, comes in at around $65,000 USD, plus your shipping costs, plus your software subscription, which we'll get to in the software section. Now, this machine has a max build height of 11.5 feet. And to show you a sense of scale, I am 6 feet tall, and this is our third extension right here. This comes with 2 additional extensions that are slightly longer than this third one, as well as a modular set so you can get close to ceilings, which is a nice touch. Now, this printer uses Ricoh GH2220 print heads, 5 of them. And if you're going to buy extras, they're $600 a piece from wallPen. They have a manufactured housing on the outside, so they fit in the machine nicely and everything plugs and plays. So you do have to buy them directly from wallPen. This printer runs on a rack and pinion drive system. So on the back of this vertical rail, we've got a dovetail rail and then a geared rail that the machine is actually running along with the motor. Now, there is something that's a unique feature to the wallPen, and we're not going to be testing, so I want to point it out. And that's steerable wheels in the front. What that lets the wallPen do is actually tackle curved walls. I've never taken on a curved wall project by choice. There's so much to deal with. A, the floor. If the floor isn't perfectly flush and flat, or at least you make some kind of surface that's perfectly flush and flat for the wheels to ride on, any groove in the floor, whether it's wood or especially grooves in between concrete like we have here in our office, you're going to notice it in your print. It's going to show up. Another problem you have with curved walls is if the turn of your steerable wheels isn't perfectly mapped to the curve of the wall, you're going to notice more and more printing artifacts that you otherwise wouldn't really have to worry about on a flat wall. Things like banding, where the swaths are overlapping too much. Even a few degrees of turn can affect that. Now, a big con to steerable wheels, and it is solvable, but the machine can just ride off the track, which is not great for such an expensive machine. You can see we have wheel hubs on ours. So these black discs on the outside are something we designed and 3D printed and have sold to many, many operators of the wallPen because it seems absolutely necessary. And why should I have to stop every 15-30 minutes to check on the wheels and bump them a little bit, steer them back into position and make sure it moves down the track evenly? This just seems like something the manufacturer should have included from the very get-go. We've sold I don't know, probably 30, 40 sets of these at least to wallPen operators across the US. And I've also seen multiple other versions prototyped because even people that hadn't heard of us realized that This was a necessary addition to the machine. It shouldn't be able to run off the track. Now this machine comes with a 1-year manufacturer warranty, and that covers everything but the print heads essentially. So if you have any issues with other parts of the machine, from the motors to the power cabinet, that would be covered under warranty, and you can extend it past 1 year for a price as well. All right, so here we have the DXonJet VPJet 4.0. This is one of the newer Chinese systems, and that's significant because it doesn't run on a belt drive. And what I mean by that is we have a geared tooth rail right here on the vertical extension, and then actually one on the track as well, which the wallPen doesn't even have. It uses a belt drive internally to move along the track. But especially for this vertical extension, the older Chinese models used a belt, and if you've ever worked with anything industrial and mechanical, you're probably aware belt drives are the first thing to fail, and also tensioning them can be kind of a calibration nightmare to get that right. So with older Chinese machines, we've heard horror stories of that not going well. So it's really nice they upgraded to a geared tooth system. So this is going to allow much more precision as the machine moves around, and it makes this really high quality. Now these come in at around $25,000 to $30,000 USD, and that includes shipping, fees, and a spare print head, which is a huge note. This only uses one print head, and they're supposed to last for at least a year operationally. So that gives you a long time that you can operate this machine without having to do any major maintenance. I've also noticed it comes with a lot of other spare parts. So an extra cable harness, this entire plastic black piece that you're seeing right here, and going down this other side that has all the cables that plug in. It comes with an entire spare set of those, as well as some other cables and other parts that are going to degrade over time. This has a max print height of 11.5 feet, and it does come with modular extensions. So you'll see these major beams right here that have been stacked to build up the machine. This is the main one that's going to have extensions, which is this vertical rail in the back that the machine actually rides. And it comes with a few varying sizes of those, so you can get a little closer to a ceiling when you need to. It uses a single Epson DX7 print head for CMYK and white. So it can do the same thing the wallPen can. Most high-end machines on the market can print with white and with CMYK and do the undercoating simultaneous to the printing. And personally, I'm really liking working with only one print head on this. It means I get to skip calibration because all of the colors are a set distance from each other in that single print head. And it also means if we ever need to replace it, it's both cheaper and easier than the wallPen, only needing to replace one print head for $1,000. And lastly, this machine comes with a full 1-year warranty on all the parts but the print head, as well as lifelong technical support. Now that support will be out of China, so there could be a little time delay. From what I understand and the interactions that I've heard about happening, they're pretty accommodating and they do a good job with what they have. All right, and that's it for our first episode in the Wall Printer Showdown series. And we're just getting started. We're actively filming and editing the next videos in the series, and we'll be rolling them out as quickly as we can over the next couple days and weeks. Up next, we'll be posting the transportation test and how easy is it really to get these machines to the job site. If you want the full breakdown from assembly to software to print quality, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and follow along with the playlist right here on the screen. If you're currently shopping for a wall printer, don't miss our free buyer's guide. It covers the top 5 wall printers on the market and everything you need to know before making your purchase. Just click the link in the description to download it. We've helped dozens of operators get started, and we'd love to help you too.